Be excellent to each other and party on. We're back for another Legacy League, and today we're playing Black-Green Loam Pox, which is an awesome archetype. You may have watched the Eternal Weekend Top 8 and seen that somebody was playing a deck somewhat similar to this in the finals. Or not in the finals, but in the top 8. Sorry, I just spoiled it. And it is a pretty powerful deck. I think Hogak is kind of a win more card. I don't think Bowmasters are necessary. I think we can lean fully in to the Pox life. And I do have a trophy with this list already. I haven't changed anything in my 75 from that. I just wanted to play more with it because I don't think any of these cards are going to get banned. So I think this is terra firma if you're just trying to build a deck that you can play long term. I think it's extremely unlikely anything in this deck ever gets banned. So let's take a look at how it works. We win off of just Urza Saga and Eumidian Hatchery. And the main way we actually win is we just wastelock the ever-living heck out of our poor opponents that are playing this, and then they never get to cast anything, and they eventually tap out long before our Urza Saga constructs. The way that we get ahead is through Life from the Loam. It is an incredible card draw engine, and we can also use exploration to make additional land drops. This is a departure from typical Loam Pox. We're really playing like land. I like to call it Lands Pox because we have 4 crop rotation as well. Crop rotation is really good because you can get like an extra search off your Urza Saga when the search trigger is on the stack and go get a second card. It's also a great way to find your Tabernacle of Pendrell Vale if you're up against a crazy go wide strategy. And it's just a great way to get Wasteland if you have the Life from the Loam, but you don't have the Wasteland. Again, the most critical cards in our deck are Wasteland and Life from the Loam. We just want to waste lock our opponents. That's how we will win probably 75% of matches. We also have Witherbloom Command in 4. I've got 4 of everything in here, basically, except for the Nile Spellbomb. And this card is so flexible. It removes a problematic Tamio. It removes a Ocelot Pride. It removes lots of problematic enchantments and artifacts that come out of decks like Karnforge. It's just a solid catch-all card. Then in terms of land count, we've got 28. I believe if you're playing 4 Mox Diamonds, you want to play a lot of lands. The 5th artifact is the Nile Spellbomb. And again, crop rotation can go get Bajuka Bog. So instant speed. We've got reanimation covered. We've got dredge and oops all spells covered. And then we're playing 4 Thoughtseize, which you just kind of have to play right now. The meta's 50% combo. Looking at the sideboard, we have 4 Ley Lines, which are a nod toward combo. We've got 4 Force of Vigors, which are a nod toward combo. And then if we actually go against some fair decks, we do have 2 Fatal Pushes and 2 Shield Edicts in the side. And then I've got a Shadow Spear as an additional target for the search trigger on Urza Saga and a Pithing Needle, which is really good against like Karn, for example. So very simple deck, but very difficult to play correctly in my experience. And this will be like maybe my 4th league with it. I'm excited to see how we do, see how many insects we can create, see how many constructs we can create, and see whether we can dodge Magus of the Moon, which is the death sentence for our deck. But Blood Moon isn't necessarily. We do have 2 Boseiju. And if you watched my 5-0 video previously, we did use Boseiju to get in. See you in round 1. Round 1, we're up against the big bad, most likely. Red Armada on Blue-Black Reanimator. I think being on the play is great. This hand's great. We've got double Loam, which is redundant, but we can get the classic Mox into fetch into Loam start. I'm keeping this. It's worth noting that we don't have a quick answer to like Entomb Reanimate. So I'm going to go ahead and cast this. I'll discard a Wasteland. Now I'll go fetch. I'm going to get a Bayou. I'm not afraid of them wasting me here. I just want to have my colors. We'll Loam. And we'll pass. We've got Witherbloom, which is great anti-Tamio tech if they aggressively try to Tamio us. All right. I think we don't. Do we? I think we don't actually get the Loam back here. I'm just going to take an organic draw because I've got plenty of lands in my hand. Okay, Witherbloom's fine. I think I play this out just to deter them from surveilling, which their deck generally plays 2 surveils. We're not really advancing our game at all here. They can't fetch Swamp here. So if they want to get a black source, we do get to waste them. Yeah, and that's another land that can't fetch a basic Swamp, which is great for us. I'm just going to chill. Again, if I draw a crop rotation, it's so good. I'm just going to draw one more time. Okay, Urza Saga is a very reasonable thing to play here. Huh. Maybe I play the second Wasteland out. Because they are definitely going to have to fetch something that's wastable. Yeah, I think I'll just play out the Urza Saga. I definitely see the merit in wasting them. If they Entomb Reanimate, it's a bummer. There's not a lot we can do against that other than just magically draw like a Smallpox. Okay, they're fetching. So I'm going to set a stop in my end step. Just in case they fetch a non-basic, I will be wasting it. Okay, Island. Okay, they're going to go and brainstorm here, it looks like. And they do kind of have to respect crop rotation, but typically Loam Pox doesn't play it, so they shouldn't be worried about it. I'm hoping to surprise them with it. But first we have to actually find a land. Find, a crop rotation before we can surprise them with it. And you may be asking, why not advance your game plan by wither blooming them? I don't think it's going to be that consequential, frankly. Whoa, they're on something else. Okay, they're probably on Nadu maybe? Like, no, Nadu doesn't generally play basic forest. I don't know what they're on. Nadu is the most common. Like, when you see green, you should probably assume that people are playing it. One of the problems with Nadu and with cards like Tamio and even to an extent the One Ring is they're so good that, like, why should you do anything else? Right, our opponent has pondered and cast a Noble Hierarch. Okay, so I do think that they're on Nadu. They're just probably on, like, Plague on Nadu. So again, awkwardly have nothing to do in my instep. But I am going to be able to... I still don't want this. I just want to make land drops. Okay, another Urza Saga. Doesn't really help us. We can play it out next turn. Let's think about it. Yeah, I'm just going to surveil this turn cycle. I guess I could go ahead and Witherbloom them, and then I still have the mana. Yeah, I'll just Witherbloom them and kill this. Because if they have Plague and I want to stop it, they could have back to basics, which would be pretty annoying and pretty devastating. I could get a basic force here. Let's go black, green, Witherbloom. Would love for them to force this because it's not that big of a deal. They do force it. It's possible they don't have another... I don't have any more colored mana though. Yeah, I just had to pass and make my dude. Okay, there's a Trop. There's Nadu, right? Of course. Now we just have to fight with constructs. Oh, they have it? Okay, well, uninspiring. I'm not going to fight against that. They had 6 triggers. Our deck can't handle that amount of card advantage. I haven't seen Basic Forest and a Nadu deck in a long time. So Fatal Pushes come in. Shield's Edicts come in. I think Tabernacle could come in. But with all those basics, I'm not sure that it's good. Now Spellbound comes out. When I pull out a Now Spellbound, I'd like to bring in another artifact in. I think Pithy Needle naming Nomad Encore is fine. We can take out Bojuka Bog. Maybe if we're taking out Bojuka Bog, we do bring in Tabernacle. Other cards that come out. Crop Rotation helps us find Tabernacle. Thoughtseize is really good against their AB combo deck. Smallpox is really good against their deck. Shield's Edict is particularly powerful because they don't even get a Nadu trigger. I feel like Witherbloom is going to be great against their deck because they have a lot of X1s in their deck. So it's not clear what I take out. Again, like I think we could take out maybe 1 or 2 Crop Rot. It's just not that good when it's not able to go get instant speed Bojuka Bog and have an impact on the game. And then we could take out an Exploration. We could take out Rumble. So we basically, our sideboard strategy was just to loot what our deck does, which is not what you want to be doing, but like this is not a great matchup for Nadu decks in general. This is double removal hand. I'm going to snap keep this. I'm just going to open with Underground Mortuary here. Now they have the basic island and the basic force. They may also have the basic plains, which is very scary because again, our deck is not designed to go against like these kind of like semi off meta builds that have lots of basics. I mean, I already have 2 of those. I think we've been that. That might be greedy. All right, so the power went out in my house. It's going to take a while for my internet to reconnect, unfortunately. All right, and we're back. We lost about 8 minutes on our clock, unfortunately, due to that little black. Try to regain my train of thought here. I think probably the best thing to do here is just go ahead and play Urza Saga and just play a traditional Urza Saga on turn 2 game. I don't want to play out the Wasteland yet and spook them. The fact that I have 2 forms of creature interaction are good though, because I could in theory waste them and just forgo a construct if I felt I was in danger of the combo. Okay, they're Force of Vigoring, which is great. Yeah, that doesn't really affect me negatively. They 2-for-1 themselves for that. Card they exiled is Endurance, which is a good card against us. Let's have Fetch Surveil. I'll look forward to wasting that. Been a Plow. Why is Plow in your deck? They may just fear Hogak because that top 8 deck was playing Hogak, but yeah, there's nothing to fear there. I am going to go ahead and take them off blue. I'm going to do it now. You just, where you can, you snipe their lands. Okay, Forest. That's not something I'm happy to see. I think this is just another Wasteland pass. Wow, another Wasteland. Yeah, I'm going to do it. They may be able to flash something in, like Ophelia would be annoying. Okay, they don't. They're stuck on 1 color of the 3, which is a good place for us. Eventually, they will run out of lands, and it looks like they have. That's great for us. Hatchery. We could just go ahead and Witherbloom to get back a land. I think we Witherbloom to get back Saga. I'm trying to play decisively here in case there's a game 3. They could Endurance here. Endurance is actually not that great because there's a high likelihood we reveal a 3rd land. Or another land. A 4th land, technically. If they Endurance this now. They're forcing that, okay? So another 2-for-1. They pitched a Nadu. Not sad to see that bird go. Halfling. I will be killing that for sure. I think we just push and then we loam. I want to make sure that I am able to kill this. I would love for them to force here, but they don't. Could fetch and get back a fetch. We've already used our mortuary. Yeah. I will be sad if they have Endurance here because I'm really far ahead. But I'll just slow them. Should I get another? No, I'm not going to get another Wasteland. Okay, that worked. All right. We got Hatchery taking up. We can always waste that later ourselves, but I don't like that play. They don't have any plays. Okay, and this is what I was talking about in the deck tech. Like, this is how you win most of your games. I think it's not necessary. We got plenty of things to do. I want to draw. Okay, that's not what I wanted to draw. We'll play this. We'll pass. We have Shielders Edict up. I don't feel a lot of fear. They're going to be able to fetch a basic here, but it's not going to be able to be a white source. Okay, Island. Green Sun for 1. I'll just kill whatever comes out of this. It's probably a Hierarch or another... yeah, there we go. I still don't want to draw the Loam. Okay, another Hatchery. I think the card we play here is Wasteland because we can get really aggro. Yeah. Because we can put 4 things on the table and the constructs and really turn the screws fast. Ponder. We haven't seen a basic planes from them, but I presume it's in their deck. But like I think 4 hatchery tokens plus a saga, 2 sagas, we should be able to overpower them. I mean, this is rough because this could represent Nadu. All right, so let's go ahead and do this. Okay, and then, yeah, we probably want a Needle Bird, or maybe we just get a Mox, since we have so many cards we can discard here. I think I am going to go ahead and do this. All right, so we've got a pretty good offensive here. I still don't want to loam. We've got so many lands. I'm just going to hope that we can find a removal spell. Like even a Pox would be insane here. Okay, Thoughtseize. That's a good card. I'm going to go ahead and do this. Now we'll go get a Mox. I'll just discard this. I'm going to Thoughtseize them first before I do anything else. I don't think they're playing Days. If they are playing Days, they got me. But I want to see, like, they have double Nadu. They do have the Nomad. We're not necessarily dead, but if they draw a land, we're dead. If I take the Nomad, then we just have to overpower Nadu himself. I think I am going to take the Nomad just to minimize downside risk. It sucks that they're going to have a 4/4 attacker here. Yeah, that does suck. All right, we're going to do some damage here. 7 most likely. And then I'll just play out another hatchery and start tapping it so I can get even more creatures, because I think we just have to kill them quickly. Hand is Plow, Nadu. And had I gotten Needle there, we could have just Needled Nomad. But I wanted to have access to more mana because I have sacrificed a lot in creating these hatchery tokens. I think next turn I am probably going to Loam back and Earth. All right, they don't have a way to target. I think we just have to jam in with everything, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and pay a life here. Yeah, I mean, we can add 2 more of these to the board, which is not bad. Yeah, I'm just going to Loam. So we've been to Thoughtseize, a Smallpox, and Windswept Heath. I don't think Thoughtseize would have been impactful there. I think that Smallpox... So we would have drawn a Thoughtseize, which is not great. So I think the play is actually just... We can hatchery, and then we can sack it, and we get 2 more attackers. I'm going to attack him with everything. They're at 10. They're going to have to block one of these. And then they're still going to take like 7. They're at 3. I don't think they're going to be able to produce enough blockers here. I've got a hatchery in my yard. Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do this. I'll get back Urza Saga, hatchery, Wasteland. Okay, and then... I think the play is just Wasteland, and then we can have 2 more constructs. I think it's going to be very hard for them to stop that. They have to combo now, basically. Or figure out some way to gain life. They can plow their own bird if they find a white source. Okay, and we still have 10 minutes for the final game, which is great. But you're seeing how the deck wins. It just uses... These hatchery tokens are insane. They're so strong. I haven't seen a single Wasteland out of their deck. Crop rotation is feeling worse and worse. I feel like Tabernacle is just okay against them. It's not spectacular. I feel like I'd rather have the, potential top end of like... Yeah, I think we cut the crop rots. Yeah, because I want to make sure that I can find Loam and just... Malevolent Rumble is practically a crop rot in terms of the number of cards it sees. Okay, so now we have to win on the draw. I'm looking for a removal rich hand. Smallpox would be insane against their deck. Smallpox disrupts their basics so that Wasteland can do its job on their non-basics. So let's take a look at this hand. This is an Exploration Loam hand with a Smallpox. I think this is a snap keep. I think this is Boseiju into Exploration, into Hatchery, tap Hatchery. Next turn, we Loam. We Windswept Heath. Then we Loam. Maybe it's better to go ahead and just hold the Boseiju. I don't know what it can kill on their deck. Yeah, I'm going to snap keep this, though. On the strength of Loam and Smallpox in the same hand. And I haven't seen any sort of Wastelands or... I seriously doubt they're playing Back to Basics or anything like that. They might be playing Harbinger of the Tide. Harbinger of the Seas. Which is... similar to... Okay, Tamio. We have 4 main deck answers to that. But we're... Yeah, I mean, they may be able to flip her before I can Smallpox, which would suck. I get Thoughtseize here. I think it might actually be fine to just Exploration into Thoughtseize. So I'm going to go Bayou. Let's go ahead and attempt to play this. They may force this, which totally slows me down. Hatchery. Let's go ahead and Thoughtseize you. Oh, wow. Holy cow. They've got a good hand. Oh, my goodness. Let's think about this. So, Veil is really only good against Thoughtseize. It doesn't actually stop anything. Sithcat is seriously strong. Karakas is their land. Next turn, Sithcat is going to come down. If we take Ponder, it makes it harder for them to find land. Also, if you hear my son playing piano, he's doing... how dangerous is Sithcat? We're almost certainly going to be able to Smallpox next turn, but they could just sack the Tamio. I think I am going to take the Ponder here. And if I lose to Nadu, it's my own damn fault. But we're about to take away one of their lands. Smallpox does not target. So at best, they can cantrip through it. Okay, they're attacking. If they just play out the Karakas and don't tap it, they can bring Tamio back to hand. Ah, so annoying. They drew a freaking Brainstorm. That's so lucky. That was unlikely. And unfortunately, that means our hatchery tokens aren't going to do a damn thing. So we need to find Witherbloom command stat. They won't have green mana. If we find Witherbloom, it's so good here. It's just like absolutely insane because we can take this out and this out. That would be the best draw in our deck. We got 4 of them. Come on. All right. I think what we do here is we just smallpox. They have to sacrifice a land and a creature. So they will lose 2 lands effectively here. I'm going to cast this. I'll discard the Beseju. Then I will life from the Loam to get back 2 cards. Green, black, Loam. We'll get these 2 cards back. And then we'll go ahead and smallpox. And I will get some dudes, but it's not like super special or impactful here, unfortunately. And I'll discard this Beseju. And I'll sack this land. Okay, we get our hatchery tokens. Again, none of this is going to matter if we can't answer Tamiyo. So unfortunately, I don't... I have 2 Shield Edicts and 4 Witherbloom commands that answer this. They're going to Karakas here, I bet. They're not playing Karakas. Interesting. Wait, they may have brainstormed it away. I can't use this, unfortunately. I have to find an answer. Okay, let's try this. Black, green. Wait. If I rumble, I almost certainly find a land or something that I can do to take advantage of this land drop. I mean, at the very worst, I get a spawn token. I mean, Pithing Needle just straight up answers her. I think I should probably take the Pithing Needle here. But then I don't have Shield's Edict. They said, oh no. Yeah, I'm going to take the Pithing Needle here. And then I have Shield's Edict as a backup. Okay, so we'll name Seasoned Scholar here. You can stay in your library, Tamiyo. Don't be gushing cards out onto the streets of your town. Okay, Karakas is back. Now I can Loam. Let's go ahead and Loam. Still don't have a Wasteland. So let's go get Urza Saga. Let's get a Hatchery. Let's get a Mortuary, because I can just play that out this turn cycle. You have an Endurance? They do have a green card for Endurance if they have it. So they've got the Nadu. Okay, so I think I just go ahead and play this out. And I'll just get this out of the way. Get deeper into my deck. That can go in the bin. Yeah, I'm not worried about like Endurance at this point. I'm going to attack Tamiyo just to get her dead. I'm not going to respect their like long game because I think I can get them under control with Urza Saga. Okay. So we get the ability to create a dude. I am going to Loam here. Did we find a Wasteland? So let's go ahead and just do this. Green, black, Loam. I'll get back 3 lands. All right. And then I'm going to just play out this Hatchery here. And I'll play out this land that can fetch the thin. Then I will attack Tamiyo. Attack Tamiyo. Again, like I respect Tamiyo enough that like if they somehow clear this, I don't want to die to her. We will eventually Loam into a Wasteland and Wastelock our opponents. So I'm going to go ahead and use that. I'm going to get a land out of our deck here as well. I don't care about my life total. I don't think it's going to be under. I'll get a Forest just in case they do have something that affects our mana base, but it'll probably that. Okay, let's find a Wasteland. Okay, we found the Wasteland. So now I think we probably have won. Yeah, great games. Yeah, very savvy opponent to play so many basics right now, because I bet you there's a lot of Loam Pox running around. Right, and I just want to quickly point out how insane Exploration was in that game 3. We're up against another likely Reanimator player with another insane hand on the play. Love it. I'm keeping this. So, I think this is just Hatchery. Mox. Loam. I mean, with Mox, we could Saga Mox Loam. That works too. But I do want to get this land back into my hand and just get deeper, like start grinding through my deck because we do have lands that answer what they're doing. Okay, so this is just a 1-for-1 right now, but it'll get better as we dredge. If they're on blue-black reanimator, they don't have a lot of ways to interact with our graveyard, I don't think. There's the Underground Sea, Ponder. So this is our answer to Tamio. One of our many answers. You have to be prepared with multiple answers because once Tamio hits, like last game, you have a few turns. You really only have 4 turns before you lose the game. If I do dredge into a Wasteland, I'm going to start wasting. Okay. And this isn't a total waste because I can go get a Mox off of this and get ahead in land. Let me daze this. That's fine. I will not pay. I'm just going to play this out and then I'll tap it in the end step to get some mana. But we stymied their development a little bit. They play, okay, Wasteland of their own. It's fine. I'm happy to see Wasteland when I've got my opponent essentially waste-locked. And we'll just slowly ratchet this up. I do want to loam. Okay. I think this is just a... Yeah, I guess I'm going to go ahead and play this out first. Doesn't really matter. So, no, I could get a second. I'll get Loam back online. I don't think Boseiju is going to matter here. Our opponent is choosing to tread water against us. This is fine. I'll just play out another hatchery. We're going to do a lot of self-damage here, but I think it'll be okay. Ponder again. I am definitely looking like they're probably... I don't know what they're trying to find. They might have Surgical or Nile Spellbomb in their deck or something like that. Just because there's so much Blue-Black Reanimator that even a lot of the Blue-Black Reanimator decks play Graveyard Hate now. So I'll go ahead and do that. We are going to attempt to waste them again. So let's go ahead and I'll just tap the one that already has a lot of charge counters on it. Let's Loam. I'll get back in Urza Saga, a Wasteland, and a Bite. And I'm going to go for their land first. They scoop to it. Okay, that's great. Beating the big bad Blue-Black Reanimator. Granted, we did have like a Wastelock, which we want to have. So I don't really have any sideboard for this. I think Leyline is worth playing. A lot of people may think, oh, Leyline, that's not very good because they can just bounce it back to hand. I think it's better than nothing. In terms of cards that come out, Exploration is less important in this matchup, even though it was insane in the previous matchup. Crop Rotation, we need all 4 because it can go get our Bajuka Bog. Shield's Edict's not terrible, but it's not really necessary when you already have 4 Wither Blooms to deal with Tamio. I think I'm going to cut a Rumble just because they're a Daze deck. Waste Locking is the path, but if they have a single fetch, they can go get a Swamp and then they can combo through Waste Lock. Right, this is a Loam with a Thoughtseize and Crop Rotation if we absolutely need to act urgently. Yeah, I definitely see ourselves Mox Diamond pitching this. This is a snap keep though. This has so much optionality. They fetch. There's the basic Swamp. They're going to Thoughtseize, which is actually not that great against our deck, but they can take out our Crop Rot, thus preventing us from being able to do disgusting things to them later with the Bajuka Bog. They took our Thoughtseize. Okay. Second Boseiju is not what we want to see. They don't have Days Up, so it doesn't matter the sequencing here. I'm going to pitch my Boseiju. They already know my hand anyway. And I'm going to play Hatchery here. They know about Crop Rotation. They shouldn't go for an unprotected turn 2 reanimation effect. I think it's smart to just wait a turn cycle with a Crop Rot. Getting back a Boseiju is not going to set the world on fire anyway. Taking Organic Draws is not bad against their deck. We have Daze Protection on our crop because we're disciplined here. Douthie. So this doesn't go to the graveyard if Douthie's out. I think I do want to just get the dude out of this. And I want to Crop Rot into an Urza Saga here. I think Urza Saga Racing is probably our best answer now that they have Douthie. Unfortunately, Loam is shut off. At least we have one body. If they have a force, I think it's over. They're not forcing. I don't think there's a better get than just Urza Saga. We're not going to waste lock them. Again, like part of the reason their deck is so powerful is and why it's been by far the best deck and best represented deck and why it practically won Eternal Weekend. It got to the finals. I'm sorry if I'm spoiling that for anybody who already watched that stuff. But yeah, it was like 3 out of the top 8 were Blue-Black Reanimator. I think it was like 7 or 8 of the top 32. Part of the reason for that is just that they can win off a single black source. 1 black mana Entomb, 1 black mana Reanimate. Okay, and this Life from Loam was not. So we're just going to start making robots here, and we're going to hope that's enough. I'll hit them in the air. They do use their life total as a resource when reanimating, so there's that. Yeah, if they are able to Entomb Reanimate now, we're dead. They can put a Witherbloom in the sideboard or in the yard, but I don't know. That actually is good because then they could cast it, and we would know the modes, and then we could interact. They're on Wasteland, so I'm only going to get 1 robot here, but it's still better than nothing. I mean, it's a 2/2. We're technically racing them. They have an Urza Saga in their Void now. If they want to use it. We've got a garbage hand. They could completely mana scrubs. Okay, that's a great draw. I will play it out. They could Witherbloom to regrow. Lots of nasty things they could do here. There's no tactical benefit to me casting Loam, I don't think. Let's just pass. If they Witherbloom, they can regrow their waste, and they can waste our Urza Saga. They're down to 10. They are choosing to continue attacking, despite the fact that we're winning the race. But if they have a Barragoyf, that flips the script. They have a Barragoyf. Barragoyf. Uncle Barry. I love calling him Barry, sorry. I know some people are like, it's Barragoyf, not Barry. All right. So what we have to do here, play this out. I mean, technically we can trade with them. It's ugly. What's in the void currently? Urza Saga and Witherbloom Command. Both are very good against us right now. I think I attack in the air just to further reduce their life total. And then I do think we have to double block this dude. And they'll be able to kill both if they can get another type in their yard. There's a merit. There may be merit to going ahead and just wasting them here. Because we're not doing anything with the mana. We are going to lose it, but I think the game was slipping away very quickly anyway. Let's see. If they are smart enough, like I think it's an obvious play to Witherbloom us, then we just can't win. Because we lose the Mox. We probably lose one of our lands because they regrow the Wasteland and waste us. I'm going to go ahead and do this. I'm just going to trust that if they are smart enough to cast Witherbloom, they have Brazen Borrower. They could have a lot of things here. Entomb. If they just reanimate here, they can still survive. They have Atraxa. That puts another type in their yard for the purpose of Barrago. I think that's why they did that. They could have like a reanimate in hand, but they're not going to be able to cast it in time. But they're going to gain a lot of life off this swing. Okay, they're opting to keep Barry back. I will be getting a Now Spellbomb here. I think their refusal to use Witherbloom Command is going to maybe cost them this game. All right, and now we go get Spellbomb. We've got a lot of bodies on the table now. I think we just attack and they have to block. Do you have anything to buff him? You gain some life. You lose a lot of life. This gets smaller. I would love to play this out if I'd rip another land. I think we're in an extremely good position, given the circumstances. Underground Sea. They could play another Barragoyf, which would really be annoying. I don't think that this is the path to victory. I think our opponent needed to Witherbloom Command us. It could be they're unfamiliar with the card, and it didn't occur to them that they could do so much damage with it. Okay. So Brazen Borrower keeps them alive here. I am doing this just to buff the constructs. I'm going to attack with everything. Orcish Bowmasters is good, but it's just... Yeah, they can ping that. They can block one of these if they'd like. Okay. They're still facing 2 5/5s with one card in their hand. All right. They must have another to time walk us. If they have another Bowmaster, they can actually ping us and block and survive. But like, I'm surprised to see Bowmasters. Like, nobody even plays Bowmasters. Yeah, that's not a good draw. All right, let's go ahead and attack. Again, like, there's no merit to keeping these back. They have an unblockable. If they just have a Bowmasters, this game's over. Like, it's very rare that I see those. Okay, that's fine. This means they can chump here. And next turn they could play this out, but this can't block it, so we're still going to win. They can't attack and use Witherbloom to drain us. They have to have something else. Okay, they're finally using Witherbloom command. So they can drain us for 2. They can blow up one of our Moxen, but that survives for 1 turn cycle. And then they can play this out, but we'll still be able to kill them before they can kill us with this. They're going to need some other cards. Okay, mill 3. Okay, so they're milling themselves. They can return a land, like a Wasteland, if they want. They're going to 4. They're still dead on board, though. I think they needed to blow up one of our artifacts. Okay, so they've chosen to waste us. Reanimate, targeting Barrage. Well, I do have to answer that, sadly. I will attempt to draw here, because if they have Bowmasters, I'm dead anyway. They have to Bowmaster first, so I get to see. They said GG. Yeah, GG. Like, you still had a turn cycle, but you didn't have the mana to deploy this. I think that they should have used the Witherbloom differently. They should have taken out a Mox or taken out my Spell Bomb, and they should have done it like 3 turns ago. Like, they could have totally hobbled me, in my humble opinion. But I don't know what was... I think they had a good draw and everything, but they didn't have the Entomb Reanimate fast enough, I think was the problem for them. But you don't cry for Blue-Black Reanimator. They deserve every loss they get, in my opinion. No mercy. No pity for the majority. KMFDM. Round 3 rather, we're 2-0, having beaten a Naughty deck and a Blue-Black Reanimator deck. This hand's fine. Deck we're up against is a Moonstompy deck. This can fetch our basics. We can just fetch a basic immediately. I think we just fetch a basic forest and then Spell Bomb. I don't expect... I don't want to mulligan to like crazy against their deck. It's possible we want to go ahead and get the swamp just in case we get a chance to smallpox them. Their deck is not super resilient, and like killing a single land might be enough to disrupt their hand. They have a challenge finish as of today. They played in one of today's challenges with Moonstompy. We can take a look at their list, see whether they're on the Urza Saga list, which I think Phil Gallagher has a great video where he plays the Urza Saga version of Blood Moon and Moonstompy, and he just confirms that it's not as good. And I would agree with that sentiment. I think it tries to do too many things. Just focus on being the best One Ring deck and exploiting the brokenness of the One Ring rather than trying to jam a second pseudo combo into your deck. They've got plenty of things to spend their mana on. It could be that was just Phil's impression and the meta is not bearing out that what they're doing is weaker. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go get basic swamp into Nile Spellbomb here. And that'll also kind of mask what we're doing. We show green off Verdant Catacombs. That's immediately going to give Pox vibes, I think. And I do think Pox is probably like in the top 15 decks most played in Legacy right now. And it is going to very much suck if they just have Blood Moon. But at least we can draw through our Nile Spellbomb and try to find. But I would really kick myself if they Blood Moon and I didn't have any basics out. Okay, here it is. Yep, that sucks. This is, again, one of those matchups we just want to dodge. Chalice on 0. That shuts off our Moxen line. Oh my goodness, we're so screwed. Oh my goodness, my opponent's too good. They probably played against us in the challenge or something. Let's draw Urza Saga. Not great. Not great. We can just play out this. I'm not sure that all Pox decks play a Bojuka Bog. Had we fetched green, we would have a lot higher likelihood of being able to draw into our thing, but I was too greedy with the smallpox. I think I probably should have fetched green. Like, hindsight's 2020. Getting the option to fetch green, that's like 4 looks at a Boseiju. And even if we find Boseiju, it's not going to work. But Chalice on 0 is not free for them because they do play Moxen themselves. I'll take a few more draws before I concede, but I don't think we're going to win this game. We can go ahead and take a look at our sideboard while we're waiting for our opponent to decide how to kill us. 4 Force Vigors are coming in. Shadow Spear is quite good in this matchup. And then I think the Shielded Edicts come in, but maybe not the Fatal Pushes. If we just ripped a Natty Force, that'd be so sick. That's 1 in 56. 1 in 49. Yeah, I don't want to give away too much of our deck. We actually don't have any 1 black mana cards in our deck other than Thoughtseize, which is kind of dud here. Again, if we rip the Miracle Forest, then I'll be happy that I kept playing. But it's so painful to play, knowing you're... There's the Passager we need. I'm just going to continue to show my deck and my opponent. Like, we want to have lots of mana to go crazy the moment that we were able to clear this. It looks like they kept a hand on the strength of turn 1 Bloodwind. They're drawing through their Soul Guide Lantern. Exploration that we can't cast. I will play out a Urza Saga. And I'll have... Again, like at a serious tournament, I would not concede from here. Just because, even though it's extremely unlikely, we do have the out of drawing Basic Forest. And then we can win from there, potentially. 1 ring. Oh, Chalice on 2. Does Chalice on 2 do it? Not necessarily, because we have the Seiju. Oh, well, I'm just going to kick it. Chalice on 2 is strong, but all we need is to clear this and then to Urza Saga. 1 ring. They are extremely unlikely to kill themselves from 20 life with 1 ring. I think we're done here. I'm just going to concede. All right. Yeah, because they can draw, 2 additional cards here, and they've got tons of mana. It's just a matter of time before we're looking. Okay, so sideboard, as I mentioned, 4 Force of Vigor is coming in. 2 Shielded Edicts. Fatal Push is an answer to their creatures. I think we probably bring it in. Let's talk about cards that don't need to be in here. Crop Rotation does not need to be in here. It's really just to go get Bajuka. Now Spellbomb can be replaced with Shadow Spear, which is quite good against them. On the play, Thoughtseize is perfectly serviceable. Witherbloom Command blows up Chalice. It potentially recurs a waste. Blows up, like a Mox and stuff. I think it's worth keeping in. Exploration, I don't think we need it. I think it's the cut. But then that does reduce our green count, doesn't it? Maybe because we've already cut the... So let's see how many green cards we have. So we can see that we only have 19 green cards, which is a little low to support Force of Vigor. So I don't want to cut any more green. So I think we just cut a land. I can cut a Bayou. That's 26 lands. Pithing Needle answers the 1 ring. Oh, it's tempting. I don't think we can afford to bring it in if we want to have this much creature removal. Yeah, I think I'm going to cut Fatal Push. As much as I like it, like Shielded Edict more reliably works around Chalice. I don't think Chalice is even staying in their deck, but it could. Yeah, let's do that. I mean, it's definitely tempting to keep the Fatal Push in, but I want to respect Chalice, and I want to respect the need for green. Okay, this is a turn 1. We can get both colors here. We can fetch Basic Forest. We can Mox Diamond. Thoughtseize them. I like that. That way we can cast Witherbloom and blow up a Mox or something. We're not that far from just casting Vigor, Hardcast. I think I just bend this Bayou. It's a little tactical value here. Hatchery actually does something, whereas Bayou is just a mana source, and we already had the Mox. In fact, I think as a rule going forward, I'm always just going to fetch Forest when I have an opportunity to fetch a basic against this deck. Okay, so their hand doesn't have a lot of... We take the Bombardiers. They can get 1 ring on turn... I mean, my instinct is to just get the Hatchery. And then if they play out a Broadside, at least I can... If they draw another red card. So I am going to take 1 ring here. I am a little bit worried about these Urza Sagas for sure. Can't take the... I mean, I would absolutely take one of the Urza Sagas if Thoughtseize was allowed to do that. The fact that we have Force of Vigor, though, is pretty good against that. And I am optimistic that we will get up to the mana that we need to hardcast that. Okay. What's going under here? Broadside. Okay. So, I mean, it's tempting to just blow these both up, but I can blow them both up with Witherbloom if I find a Wasteland here. Perfection. What a sick freaking rip. Oh my goodness. Bye-bye. Let's Shadow Room. Okay. Now I'm going to... What can they do with this? I'm going to pass to the next phase. I'm not going to attack them, and I just don't want to have to worry. Okay. That's fine. They may name Wasteland here. And I think if they name Wasteland, I actually do want to Urza Saga after this. Life from Loam? Oh, actually, that's fine for now. I think it's still probably smart. Well, I mean, we're gonna get back our Wasteland. I think it's fine to just go after the mana. I can still cast Loam. It's just that it costs 5 mana. I'll get back this Wasteland. So they're in a super awkward situation here where if they play out Urza Saga, they know there's a Wasteland. And if they play out Urza Saga first, then it takes them forever to get to the Urza Saga. It's fine. I think I'd probably just play out Hatchery with the plan of Force of Vigoring, but I need a green card. Oh, that works. So I'll just play this out. I mean, I would love to wait a turn cycle. Maybe I do wait a turn cycle because they can make a dude and then I can hit the dude and that. And then, yeah, I think it's fine. I'll hit it before they're able to needle or anything. So they can play out City of Traders here and then they can make a dude. Okay, so I am going to do 1 damage to myself to proc this. I mean, this goes and gets a basic swamp, which I think is... All right, so I'm going to wait until the end step. When they make a dude, then I'll hit the dude and the Saga. It's got to be a pretty devastating setback. Okay, we get to go to their turn. They don't get the search. It's just difficult for me to imagine what they would need to like cobble together a win here. Because I can just waste this. But I mean, it's tempting to just wait for the next land. Beseiju. So I can Beseiju this if I want to. I think I am going to go ahead and hit that. And I'll just chill. And I can actually Beseiju. No, it's an opponent, right? Yeah, I can't Beseiju my own land. That would be insane. So I'm going to let you do this. You got 3 mana. I mean, this is one of the cards that I can't really beat. I guess I can go ahead and hit the... I'll go ahead and do this just to get a counter. Man, this is brutal. I mean, I have my colors, but I have to draw a removal spell here. Okay. And 13, so I can go 6 turns, essentially. Shadow Spear is good. Yeah, if I had wasted my own land, then I would have a bunch of creatures and I could Shadow Spear and I'd be fine. But as it stands, we have to find one of our Shieldred's Edicts. No reason to hold that. Yeah, they can just totally solo us with this. Unfortunately, I mentioned this, I think, in the deck as like a serious problem for our deck. I'm not going to play that out. We're just going to chill. Yeah, I mean, if I hadn't wasted their city, they had a second city, so they could have potentially one-ringed. So I don't think I misplayed. That doubles their clock. So we've got two draws, basically. Like, we have to find exactly Fatal Push, and we can Mox to turn on the Fatal Push. No, wait, we don't have Fatal Push in our deck. I think that was the one I cut because I wanted to have a high green count. And I'm glad I put Force of Vigor in, but... All right. This gives them value. I mean, I could blow this up, but I need to... I'm going to wait and see what I draw. It's probably not going to matter. Round 4, we're up against a likely Karnforge deck on the draw. This hand doesn't do anything specifically to interact with Karnforge, but it is a very good hand. We don't really do a lot here. I guess we could mulligan this. Yeah, I think I'm actually going to mulligan this. This is way better. This is way better. So what we can do is we can Exploration and then we can put Urza Saga out. I like that. We do want to keep Rumble. I think I just put this Underground Mortuary away. Okay, Urza's Tower. Definitely Karnforge. It's the only deck that plays that card. So they could one ring as early as next turn, unfortunately. That's just how their deck works. I think I want to go ahead and do that line that is to Urza Saga here. Just to get our bots cooking. It will be very sad if they have one ring. They have the Nexus. They have 4 mana. Yep. I mean, this is just Legacy in 2025. It was also Legacy in 2024, but they didn't take action on the one ring. Okay, so we can't really do a lot here. I think Rumble does give us... Like, we could Rumble and then we could still play another land, create a construct. Can we? Actually, I don't think we can. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just try to overwhelm them with Saga constructs. Yeah, next turn I can definitely do another dude. But there's nothing to be done here. Like, we'll just end step, create a construct. I think the fact that we're on the draw here means it makes a huge difference. And the fact that we didn't find a Wasteland. You know, I could have rumbled into a Wasteland. But it's tricky because they're going to draw so many cards. There's a decent chance they draw either an Urza Saga or a Planar Nexus. What do you go after? You probably go after the Urza Saga here. Or the Urza Tower, rather. That's 3 mana. This could be the Cruel Captain. Cruel Captain could... Oh, Glaring Fleshbreaker. Yeah, that's annoying too. This creates enough chump blockers that it's going to be hard for our constructs to get through. They haven't played a key yet. But again, the Cruel Captain could come out at any time. Pithing Needle on Urza Saga. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and do this. We can do this next turn, but we are going to lose out on a construct. Because what we can do is we can just Witherbloom this and create constructs. But it's one fewer construct. So I presume this is going to name Urza Saga. They still have 4 mana. So they get 1 ring again. They could Karn here. Cruel Captain would be the most annoying. A K command killing our construct would be annoying. There's the Karn. That also procs the Fleshbreaker. So we've lost a lot of life here. They can definitely Lattice Lock us now. We don't have any good artifacts to search for. I don't want to grab a Mox Diamond. I guess I get the redraw off Pithing Needle. Well, let's see. Yeah, because unless we can clear the Karn itself, it makes you grab like a 0-drop just to create another dude. No, there's Ensnaring Bridge. They can't immediately play it. Oh, I guess they can immediately play it. So yeah. Okay, so Witherbloom command could kill this and destroy this so that they are maybe going to have to block this. I do want to kill this. Yeah, I'm just going to go get the... So unfortunately, I can't do anything with this trigger on the stack. Let's see what we draw. Another Witherbloom. That's not the worst. Go ahead and tap. Now, we go green. I guess I do this. And I'm just going to destroy target creature. They can float here. Okay, they don't. Now we can just make a dude and we can attack Karn and they have to block. The other option is we rumble. If we rumble, we have to hit land, but I'm pretty confident we will. But if we don't, it's super awkward. It's so awkward. Yeah, I think I'm just going to go ahead and create this. I'm not going to risk whiffing on land. And if they just have another Karn, it doesn't even matter. Because like they could feed this to here, but they might just let it go again and then they Karn lock us. They have enough mana to do so. They are opting to block here. I think there's a decent chance they Karn lock us here. They could probably dump their hand. They're drawing 3 cards. They're up to 7 cards. They do have to play a lot of stuff out of hand, but it shouldn't be an issue. I think our odds of winning this game are like less than 7. That's fine. There's not really anything to hit with that. They hit our Exploration, sure. So Urza's Workshop. They don't have Metalcraft, so it just taps for 1. Okay, that's fine. That doesn't have a target. Like, this card actually isn't that great against our deck. 4 mana. They could K-command one of these. Cruel Captain. They can use it to untap 1 ring. Manifold Key. Another thing, they can untap 1 ring. So they can just draw a ton of cards here. But that does mean that they're more vulnerable. I definitely think that Witherbloom should hit key, Manifold Key if we get a turn. Okay, they are untapping 1 ring. I mean, I really, like, they've tapped out. They've played their land. I really hope they make the mistake of tapping this. I do believe it will be a mistake. They have Mox Opal as a mana source. They don't have a monolith yet. Okay. They're going to wish for something here. They got a Mystic Forge. They have 3 mana in their pool, 4 mana. Okay, they are playing the Mystic Forge, which, yeah, they can just 1 ring in the end step, I guess. Okay, Mox Diamond doesn't help us. It does buff the constructs, but actually that doesn't really do anything. Yeah, unfortunately, we're not going to have a land in hand to be able to get a Mox here. Mox will just die. I feel like the game is over. I'm going to concede. Like, they had an incredible board presence. All right, so this is definitely a Shield Edict matchup, I think. Force of Vigor. Cards don't matter. Crop Rotation is really just here to give us instant speed Bazooka Bog. I don't think it's that great of a card overall. Pithing Needle absolutely comes in. Now Spellbound can come out. So that's 5 artifacts. We could add Shadow Spear, but keep in mind these artifacts can't be activated under Karn, and they're going to have Karn like half the time. It's a huge part of their deck is getting Karn out. Smallpox is not great in this matchup, sadly, because they rarely have creatures. I think we could cut an Exploration. I mean, it's one of the few colored permanents in our entire deck. Actually, it might be the only one. Yeah. I think we just cut this. It's not that important. Like, once we waste lock them, the game's over. And maybe the critical mistake I made previous game was not casting my Malevolent Rumble earlier so that I could have dug for a Wasteland and a Loam. I mean, this hand does a lot of stuff. Double Wasteland. I think we just Thoughtseize. Yeah, I'm going to keep this. All right, so let's fetch. Grab Bayou. Thoughtseize them. I would love to hardcast my Force of Vigor, but I may not have that luxury. So looking at this hand, Pithing Needle naming Wasteland would be pretty catastrophic. I just don't want to deal with it. They do have the ability to get Grim Monolith into Glaring Fleshraker, but that walks right into Smallpox, which I will happily cast. I think the card we take here is Pithing Needle just because we don't have a quick answer to it. Yeah, and I think they're going to do exactly what I said they were going to do, which is Ancient Tomb into Grim Monolith into Dude, and then they'll probably play out a Mox, so they get another creature. I didn't think about the fact that they're going to get a creature. That makes it really bad. Because, yeah, they do have the Petal. Yeah, I mean, that like hopefully they use it. They don't. Okay, so they have Urza's Workshop, Planar Nexus, one unknown in hand. Witherbloom Command is great if we have mana, but we don't. I could just assume that they're going to have all the mana they need and go ahead and get Saga cooking rather than wasting. I think it's fine. I'm going to do that. It's embarrassing to lose this matchup. I feel like it's a really good matchup for us. One of our best matchups, but... And you might think, like, a Pithing Needle, like, what kind of take was that? But I do think it was important to do. So this is a window where we could just go ahead and Force of Vigor this and deny them mana. We could also hit their Petal here. It might be better to just hit the Monolith. I'm going to do that. I'm not going to go after the Petal. I see small potatoes in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so they don't get to tap that for mana. So we did reduce their mana. They're going to come in for a hug here. I would love for them to use this mana somehow. Okay, they're not. All right. Mox Diamond's great. Okay, so I think the thing to do here is we Mox Diamond. We discard a Wasteland. Now we get Smallpox and play Wasteland, but then we don't. We do technically have the ability. Yeah, then I'm wasting them this turn. No, but they don't have a land to waste. They'll just sack this spawn. Yeah, I think the correct thing to do is just wait and see if we can get them to use this. Maybe waste them here. I do want to waste them. I'm going to waste them before we put the... yeah, okay. And now we can just wait and do this like with Karn on the stack. If I can get them to get rid of this spawn, then Smallpox becomes so good. If they play Karn out, then I can just go get Pithing Needle. They don't attack. Okay. Yeah, because we would have blocked. I think I really want to Smallpox them here. Their card in hand is Urza Saga to unknown. We could have them sack a non-token creature. I think it's better to just go ahead and hit them. And I'm going to go ahead and just name probably Karn. I mean, they can use the Cruel Captain to exile this. Am I more worried about Karn or the One Ring? There's an equal chance that they draw either of them. Karn is pretty dangerous because it can blow up my Mox. I think I'm going to name Karn. But even if he comes out, like blowing up my Mox isn't that big of a deal because it's already shut off. I'm going to name the One Ring. That's what's going to bury us. We can attack and kill Karn. Okay, let's go in for a hug here. They're just going to take it. This does help us with the eventual arrival of the One Ring by getting their life lower. Okay, they had a second planar nexus. Okay, we got lucky here that their lands didn't give them enough mana. Hatchery's great. Let's play it out. I think the simple thing to do is cast whenever you cast a colorless spell. So if I Shielded Edict now, they can exile. I'm going to go ahead and come in for a hug and see if they can K-command, and then just preserve information. Now, post-combat, I am going to go ahead and just black, colorless, edict you, sack a non-token creature, please. They're going to need a miracle here. Urza's Tower would be a miracle. Urza's Workshop, not as strong because they don't have... Yeah, just to get protection for a turn cycle, that's fine with me. Okay, they scooped to that. Like, I think they forgot that it was needled. Okay, well, Needle did the work there. All right, now we're on the draw again. Shadow Spear might be worth playing. Again, I'm just worried that it's going to get shut off by Karn and it's going to be a pathetic, useless game piece on our board. It doesn't synergize with anything else in the deck. It's just a way to trample over their spawns. I'm not going to bring it in. All right, and that was my kids coming in trying to get a hold of the cat. Okay, so I think this hand is fine. I could pitch. Okay, I mean, this is like Loam for 2 right off the bat. I think it's good. And I probably will do that and just hold the Thoughtseize, but like, let's see what they start with. They're mulling to 5. Like, this is like our best mainstream matchup, like of the top 3 decks. We're way better against Carnforge than we are against Nadu or Reanimator. Actually, Reanimator is a pretty atrocious matchup, and I'm very 2-0'd the blue-black Reanimator player we played against. But I do think that they played suboptimally. So it's not necessarily a feather in our... All right, that is an Urza's Saga. That is a Pithing Needle, probably on Wasteland. I have a very handy tool for dealing with Pithing Needle. Oh my goodness. Do we want to go ahead and waste them? Or Thoughtseize them? I think we could double Thoughtseize them. I think that's the way. I should have probably Thoughtseized them once to see what they're working with over there. I am going to eviscerate their hand, though. Mystic Forge is the only targetable card. Unfortunately, yeah, we just have to chill. They are going to have constructs, I believe. They have Ancient Tombs, so they can create constructs. This is kind of precarious. Wasteland would be great. Let's think about this. So, I think what we do, if we Loam, we can't edict one of their creatures. It's possible they drew something we could discard, but like doing 2 damage to ourselves is not great. I think I'm just going to go ahead and fetch, and I'm going to accept that we're going to take some damage, but we do have Shield's Edict to take some of the blunt of that. Or the brunt of it, I think is how you say it. I mean, yeah, I think getting our lands back is fine here. I want to hold Witherbloom just another turn cycle just for the element of surprise here. And it occurs to me that Underground Mortuary would have been nice, but we did want to get like the full 3 lands off of that. Okay, this is the big question here is, do we just go ahead and Thoughtseize them on the chance that they drew a non-land? I think we do. If they K-command, it's going to be really annoying. But it will mean that we're not dealing... Okay, I'm really glad I did that. That would have been really embarrassing had we left them with that. So now we have a Urza Saga construct problem, but it's not necessarily death. It's a 2-2, then it's going to be like... We're going to be taking 4. If they have the Lava Spur Boots, then we're going to have to deal with even more. All right. Please, well, yeah, the Lava Spur is catastrophic. Yeah, that's bad. It's not the end. Where's his Workshop? Okay. So they have 1 unknown in hand. We're taking 4 here. Another Mox Diamond is not bad at all. Actually, it's really good. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and do it. And I'll just discard one of these lands to make sure that I have a land that I pick up here. Let's do black, green. Doing it with this just in case they Karn. I think it makes sense to mill ourselves because we could find the Wasteland here. But they could blow up whatever we find. I think gaining life is fine too. Yeah, I'm scared to gain life here. And the reason is... Now I'm going to mill myself. I'm not going to be a coward. And I'll blow up their needle. They can go ahead and hit our graveyard now to reduce the likelihood of us finding something. That might be the correct call. Okay, we get the Wasteland back. I think it is the Wasteland that we take here. That's pain-free mana. They do have Metalcraft. Let's edict. Creature token of their choice. This further reduces the size of these. Now we waste... I think we waste this, and then they have 1 mana. They get Metalcraft. They have 1 mana still. Yeah, I'm going to do that. They've been very disciplined about not popping this, but if they pop it, it reduces their construct offensive even further. Okay, another Urza's Workshop. So now these produce 2 if they get Metalcraft. We'll take 2. Ridiculous. Yeah, I'm definitely going to use this. Just trying to decide. I think Mortuary first. That is staying right on top. Yeah, we have to lose a card here. Let's lose this Underground Mortuary, I guess. They lose a land. All right. We're at 7, which is a precarious life total. They are hellbent, and we're drawing Witherbloom command, which blows up this. If they tap out, oh, they're just drawing a card now? That's fine. They're not going to go after our yard, so we can get back the Wasteland here off this Witherbloom. And they may just concede to that. So I'm going to mill myself, and I'll just drain them. Yeah, this is definitely the Wasteland here. I mean, we could take the Urza Saga. I actually think that's better. Yeah, I mean, let's just kill them, right? Okay. Wow, they're bricking. And I ripped a Loam. I didn't even notice that. Yeah, I think we got this game. So we get Besage's pretty good. I'll get a Wasteland. I will get a Mortuary, I guess. I'd rather get something that comes into play. I guess I could get Hatchery here. I mean, I'm not going to play any of these cards. All right, let's waste. And my opponent is still playing, but they've conceded. Okay. Yeah, like, that's how you do it. That's how this works. See you in round 5. Final round. We're up against a likely Painter player. I like this hand. Exploration's not great, but it has Life from the Loam in it, and you don't put those hands back. Okay, yeah. Welder. So we can't turn 1 Smallpox unless we draw a diamond here, which would be insane. Yeah. I think what we do, go fetch. No, I'm going to fetch a Bayou. They may have Blood Moon in their 75, but I doubt it's in their main deck. Exploration comes down. Now I think we just play the Urza Saga, get it ticking. Next turn we can, well, do we want to do that? Because we are definitely going to Smallpox them next turn. I think I'm just going to charge Hatchery. My daughter's doing her piano practice in the background. Okay. Painter Servant. That's scary. Everything's blue. That's not good. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and deal some damage to myself and hope that we can get a bunch of weenies in the air. But they have a very explosive start here. I think the play here, I don't even care about this exploration, but I could discard the Life from the Loam if I can play out my entire hand. But I don't think it's possible to play out my entire hand. Wait. Exploration. Urza Saga. Wasteland. Waste the red source. I think I can do everything. So let's go ahead and play out Exploration. Wait, I'm not going to be able to play everything out because I can play out 3. Wait, I have 3 lands? Yeah, I can play everything out. That's great. I'm going to go ahead and waste the red source now. Well, if they hit one of the explorations, it's going to be annoying. The red source. They probably pyro in response. Okay, they don't pyro. Ouch, ouch, Smallpox. So I can discard Loam. I'll sack this Hatchery that has 2 counters, so I get some creatures. They don't have a lot of permanents now. They can easily bring permanents back with Welder. Next turn we have Loam and we can waste them again. Another Painter Servant. But unless they have a Spirit Guide in hand, we should be able to waste this. Okay, I'm absolutely going to Loam here. Get back 3 lands. So we're going to go green, black. We get all 3 of these lands back. We're going to immediately play all 3 of them out, which is just insane. And we're going to be able to create a construct in addition. Okay, they are... Wait, when did Chaos... Oh, they discarded freaking Chaos Defiler? I didn't see that. So it's a non-land permanent. They can hit one of these. Yeah, I didn't see them discarding a Chaos Defiler. I was so focused on what I was doing that it didn't occur to me that this extremely powerful creature was in their graveyard. So I think we just play this out, and then we can... Oh, wait, do we not get to play this out? Do we make all our land drops? If that's true, then we don't get to create a saga token. They can just weld this in and out every single turn, taking away... Oh, it's because of the exploration. Yeah, that was a powerful play. This can only hit non-land permanent, so it doesn't have any color restriction. Yeah, I mean, that's catastrophic. Because they can just hit like all this stuff. Do we want to waste them? Or do we want to create a moribund 1/1? We just have to find like... So I can go get a Nile Spellbomb and then shut them off from shenanigans. I'm going to go ahead and waste them, and I'm just going to chill. They could swap that for a painter. If they attack, this has trample. Not a lot of point in hanging back. I'll just come in for 2. Yeah, we're going to take a big chunk here. I'm not confident about our future. Yeah, if they hadn't been that, I would be so happy, but as it is, we're actually in a pretty precarious situation. I'm not even sure if I want to charge Hatchery here. They can bring out Painter, and then they can swap this the subsequent turn. But, like, this dies, and it triggers. Okay, they are getting a land here. That triggers again. They're probably going to take out our other exploration, I imagine. Grindstone is fine. Okay. Now, seeing this, do I want to pump this? I don't think so, because our mana base does damage to ourselves, and I want to fetch. Yeah, I'm just going to be conservative here. So we get to see our draw first. Oh, wait, we have life from the loam. So if we loam, we can waste that. Yeah, that's the play. So I am going to go ahead and activate here. Wait, can I? Let's see. So I go ahead and I activate, and we create a dude. Then I don't have enough mana to waste them. I think that's fine, though. I want to get a dude. And I do need to get the Nile Spellbomb here. But it's worth noting that, like, if they get any other sort of, like, if they have engineer or anything to put something in the yard, they're going to immediately be able to get it back with, by sacking Grindstone or sacrificing this land. Yeah, it's a forced play in my mind. I'm going to go ahead and draw the card. I'm not going to use the replacement effect. So I have a loam in hand. That's he's probably never going to get cast. I'll attack for 2. Fury would be pretty devastating here. Next turn, though, we can loam and Urza Saga. Their mana is seriously restricted unless they have like an Ancient Tomb or something. There's the Engineer. Where's the other mana? Oh my goodness. Simian Spirit Guide. So they're going to be able to get something insane here. Probably just a Phyrexian Dragon Engine. Since we've already dealt with the Chaos Defiler. So they can put that in. When it enters, you draw 3 cards. So that's pretty powerful. I mean, I could like Bajuka Bog them if I magically draw. I think I actually don't want to do this, and I want to see if I can draw Bajuka Bog because it's such a blowout. So Witherbloom kills this, blows this up. They just swap this with this. Kind of feel like we have to do it. And then they can always engineer as well. Yeah, if I waste them, they can just swap. Oh, so brutal. I think what we do is we Witherbloom to force them to move. But they get 3 new cards, and they might put something good in the graveyard too. Let's go ahead and do that. Maybe I just want to ignore the Grindstone for now. Yeah, and I think I just want to kill the Welder. And that way I get a Wasteland back. And I can waste my own Hatchery. So once this is done, they can no longer do the swap with Great Furnace. So I can go after the Soul Mana Source with Wasteland here. But that means foregoing creating a ton of insects that can potentially kill my opponent before they can kill me. But if I were them, I don't know what their last card is, but like basically in a heartbeat, I'd swap out the Welder. Yeah, they're swapping the land for that. So they get 3 cards. They found a freaking Painter Servant. Insane. Insane. Yeah, I think the card we're going to get back is going to be... I think 4 creatures is good. And then they swing and we just chump. They could swap this out for a Nile Spellbomb. I don't know that they would do that, but that would be potentially good. I think the way we win here is we race them. Because they're going to need a mana to activate Goblin Engineer to get that. Even if they like cast Fury to wipe our board, we are going to have 4 more dudes. Okay, they have a Mountain, Petal. They're very close to just pandering us. They could have a Bolt. I think the responsible thing to do is just jump here. Unfortunately, yeah, they need to activate and swap, so they need 4 total mana. So we've got them on a 2-turn clock. I don't want to Life from the Loam, just in case I find. So if I tap this, this becomes very precarious. I mean, I could just get like Loam back a Wasteland, and then I could waste this for 2 more bodies, and then I could keep 2 back. That's not a deterministic kill, though. Yeah, I think if I do that, then I don't have to worry about them killing with this because I can just create the bodies. But I will be at 1. I can 5 them and then I can 6 them. Or 7 them, I guess. Yeah, it'll be 7 because I'll chump with 1. I think that's the line. I'll just grab these lands. Not going to be deploying any more hatcheries at this point of the game. It's a crazy game 1 for sure. Yeah, I mean, if they did have like a soul land, they could kill. We go ahead and go in. I shouldn't have attacked with all of them. I think that was sloppy. Yeah, they had it. They've got the win. Oh, did they miss that they have the win? They have the freaking win. They may have the win anyway. I think they punted because they could have just put the grindstone trigger on the stack with these, then swap the grindstone for the painter and then ground us. They might have a Fury here. So I'll take 1. I'll drop to 4. Snaring Bridge. You still have a card in your hand. What's your last card? Do we want to loam here? I mean, yeah, because I can waste that. That gives me an extra angle of victory. No, I can't waste. All right, we'll see whether we can attack. Do you have like a Spirit Guide or something like that? What's your last card? Yeah, good game. I mean, they have it next turn. No, they don't necessarily. Okay, I'll just let that happen. I'm going to go ahead and get back. I'll get a hatchery back, although I won't return here. Maybe they draw something they can't cast. They're at 3, so Ancient Tomb is going to hurt them. Yeah, I mean, that name's Urza Saga. If Phyrexian Dragon Engine dies, they can just replay it. The best draw in our deck is like a Witherbloom command, because we can Witherbloom to death. I don't think we're drawing anything that matters, so I'll just take an organic draw. It's a dead draw. I am going to go ahead and waste here. And they're really like milking my clock because I have to think really hard because they're a combo deck. I'm just like a fair deck. They have to be able to empty their hand, and they will eventually draw like a Fury or some card like that that they can't cast. And we have them like Loam locked. Okay, red mana in the pool. Engineer. Going and getting a land. Okay. We do need the Loam back so we can waste them again. I'm going to go ahead and add a mana here, and then we'll search. Grab a Mox. We'll discard a hatchery here. Now I can just go Loam, get back a Wasteland. I'm doing all this like I'm aware that they're probably just going to die here. But I want to be able to waste that Grape Furnace. They have red mana floating. Okay. Do you have another blast? No? I'll attack with everything. That was a very hard-fought victory. Like almost 15 minutes of our clock spent on that game. All right, so Leyline's actually not bad here, but Force of Vigor is way better. Pithing Needle can come in. I mean, Shadow Spear is not terrible against them. I think Fatal Push is quite good. Best card in our deck is definitely Witherbloom here. I think we take out Bojuka Bog and the crop rotations. I'm just not convinced that's the angle we want to fight on. We still have enough green cards. I think we did the count earlier. It's 19 green cards. Thoughtseize can come out. They are kind of an aggro deck. We're on the draw. I think I'd rather have cards like Fatal Push. Shielder's Edict's meh. Tabernacle's not great. We could bring in Shadow Spear. Like, it seems weird to have like 3. Like, normally I like to have basically 1 or 2 targets. But Shadow Spear can be really good against an aggro deck. And Needle's definitely good here. I think these are all 3 relevant cards we could tutor for. You could compensate for that by taking out one of your Mox Diamonds. I think I'm going to do that, and I'll just bring in 2 Shield Edicts. Because like their deck is a creature deck at the end of the day. I'm having a great time, though. This deck is a fun deck to play, my goodness. And it doesn't look like it'd be a very good deck because it doesn't look like it does a lot. Okay, this is a fine hand. Not a great hand, but we have our best card in our deck, Witherbloom here. So I'll just Exploration into Underground Mortuary, and I'll hope they don't have like a turn 2 Goldfish because we're not ready to really interact with that. Another Welder. That sucks. If we cast a card that allows them to discard, it could be a big problem for us. Okay, and I think with that, I do want a Mortuary rather than Urza Saga. That can go in the yard. Should I put that in the yard? I think I am. Yeah, because next turn, we can rumble into something, potentially. And we can just use that body immediately for mana. Painter. It's very quick. Quick Painter. They should attack for 1 here. Yeah, what's the harm? Force of Vigor is very good against them here. I think we just Witherbloom. Yeah, I think that's a pretty good play. So what I'm going to do, target player mills 3 cards, and I'm going to just kill that creature. And then I have Force of Vigor, which is very good at stopping their Painter Grindstone combo. Wasteland is not great here. Let's grab this Verdant Catacombs instead. I may come to regret that. Now we Urza Saga. I'm going to Catacombs here. I could just Shield Rosita and clear this. I think that's the conservative thing to do. That way I can potentially hard cast Vigor later. Yeah, I'm going to do that. I do want to respect Blood Moon. I don't think it's likely to come out, but if it does, it's pretty annoying. And we'll see if we can get them to invest in their graveyard, and then we'll take it away from them. That's 4 mana. Blood Moon. Okay, I'm really glad that I got those other cards. It's worth noting that we can't win under Blood Moon, but we do have Force of Vigor, so I'm not too worried about it. I think the simple thing to do here is go ahead and rumble. No, I think we want to wait till they're in step, and we do want a Force of Vigor. So I'm just going to play a land here. Play out 8. Now Spell Bomb, which we can crack in their in step to clear their graveyard and draw a card. Let's pass. We're not going to find a second unless we like miraculously drew like a... I kind of want to do it now. I'm going to set a stop right now. So as soon as I get priority, I'm going to blow this up. And I'm going to blow up the Blood Moon. This is good. And they don't have the ability to pyro it. So they get a creature. I'm going to go ahead and just use this. I know that there's tactical value in holding it. But they've got enough good stuff in their deck, in their yard right now. Another Force of Vigor. Insane. Do we want to go ahead and fetch Thin? I think I will. Grab a Bayou here. Now we got our card draw, or their graveyard is exiled. Shadow Spear is a pretty good card. I think the play is just play out Shadow Spear and pass. And we can create a body here that will trade with this when it attacks. I don't actually think that it needs to trade because we can Shadow Spear and do a ton of damage next turn. Welder, sure. They're running out of cards over there. They can turn this into a card that's in their graveyard. Square token. So we're going to take an organic draw here. Mox Diamond, not bad. So these are going to be very big. I'll create another one. The Pithy Needle. I think it's fine to name Goblin Welder, since it's like face up. I could see the reasoning in naming something else, but that is the card that's on the table here. Yeah, I really wish I could play this out. Let's go ahead and we have to pay two to equip this. Oh, it's on. Yeah, pay 2 on here. We'll start the combat. They have enough mana to hardcast a Fury, but it's not going to kill anything on my board. Well, yeah, actually, it could kill this construct. Yeah, that'd be really annoying. Painter Servant. They would need another mana to do Grindstone here. Goblin Engineer. Really annoying. Oh my goodness. Are we going to die? I felt like we're so far ahead. I'm glad I needled this. My goodness. Can you imagine? Right. Next turn, I can just hard cast this to kill this. But they can bring it back. Oh my goodness. Mox diamonds everywhere. Yeah, I think I have to hold this. But they could absolutely have pyro. I'll attack with all. They are not doing anything. They feel very confident that they're going to be able to beat us with the onboard engineer. Let's see. Let's say hypothetically we hit this and the treasure token. They don't have any artifacts to bring this back. I think we really don't want them to have a pyroblast, and them drawing a pyroblast is GG for us. I mean, they can get another token off this. I think I have to wait and just hope they don't draw a pyroblast. 5 minutes, 38 seconds. So we're going to have to play a very quick game 3 here. I feel like I've been pretty disciplined with my clock, but yeah, they get another treasure token. They may just wait until like lethal's on the stack to do something here. That's fine. Yeah, pyroblast completely ends it, but I think there's a decent chance they took a lot of their pyroblasts out. I mean, we're obviously not a blue deck. I can't force a vigor or do anything until they activate now. I'm like totally priced in. Next turn, they could sack and bring it back. It's pretty scary. But they have to move here or do something here. They could just jump. Malevolent Rumble. The problem with Malevolent Rumble is we may not have the mana. I think we rumble. I'm gonna take a chance. I can get a green card here. This could be a catastrophic. Oh, I can't get a green card, can I? Wasteland doesn't help us. Man, I just punted so hard. Yeah, that was a total punt. Now we're tapped out. If they wait till our upkeep, I can still force a vigor. Oh wait, I can just. Oh, I should have played at the land because then I could have used this spawn to cast Force of Vigor. Temple Trap. Destroy target artifact. What is... They're targeting that. So this shuts off Welder. Yeah, okay. That sucks. I've never even seen this card. How much damage are they taking here? Oh, that's an artifact. You can bring it back. It's pretty good. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely tempted to concede here. They're not... Yeah, I'm conceding. I don't think we're winning anymore. Wow, Temple Trap. Never seen this card before. It is just a 5 mana. Discard this card. Well, that's a crazy ass card. Wow, I've never seen this. It's a good card. Okay. 4 minutes, 28 seconds to win. Our deck does not win quickly. Let's think about how we could win quickly. I mean, shutting out the graveyard with Leyline would have been really consequential there. Man, I don't know. I'm really like torn. I feel like we were really close to winning that. But with that Temple Trap card, I just don't think it was winnable. There was the illusion of winnability. I think we bring back in Thoughtseize and just hope to have a non-game with them. I want to pull out Pithing Needleless Reactive. Shadow Spear was fine. I don't know that it's necessary. It might be necessary to actually get the damage across. I think we could remove some of this more pricey removal. I mean, if we want to have an explosive game, we want to have more Moxen. Maybe we do take out the Shadow Spirit and we just hope to get like an early Urza Saga. We could take a Bayou. If we're trying to play fast, though, Mortuary is the more annoying card. Yeah, I think I'll take it out. I'm not sure about this sideboard plan, but I know I don't have a lot of time to win. Let's put it that way. Yes. This is a keep on the strength of turn 1 Saga after having played out a second land. So I'm just going to go get... I think I get Bayou here. Or, yeah, I doubt they're going to have a turn 1 Blood Moon. I'd be very impressed. And I think if they have turn 1 Blood Moon, it's going to take us so long to fight through it that we'll lose anyway. So I'm just going to live in the world where we do get to do our thing here. I could have hatcheried and planned to sack that. I can still hatchery and get 1 token. Okay, Welder's annoying, as always. It's possible Smallpox is good here. So we can play 2 cards. Hatchery. And maybe just play this Catacombs. I do need to get rid of this immediately. So unfortunately, I can't make a construct this turn. I'm going to go ahead and fetch. I will go ahead and get a Another Bayou. I'm going to go black. Black. Smallpox. I'll just discard this Heath. Sack this. I get a token. 3 minutes and a half on the clock. They've got like 14 minutes over there. But they're not having to disable a bomb combo deck. We are. Okay. Pass. I'm just going to F6 through their turn. Ancient Tomb. Painter. Create a dude. Search. I'll get a now spell bomb here. I'm going to play a Wasteland. I'm going to waste them. Attack for 1 and pass. F6. They figure out a way to use their graveyard this turn. There's nothing I can do about it. They've got Temple Trap in there. Okay, Urza Saga. Well, without the mana to do anything with it, it's not that scary. Urza Saga number 2. Let's go ahead and do this. We'll take the Mox Diamond. Everything else goes to the yard. Let's go ahead and attack. Yeah, we're going to need a miracle here. But if we find a land, Mox Diamond comes down and then this gets bigger. They had the best possible. What a freaking horrific sequence. Like, I dealt with one tomb, dealt with the mountain, but they just had lots of land. I don't think we can win. Because their constructs are going to be pretty big. This painter buffs them. We don't have Loam in the yard. That would be something that could potentially change the game. I don't want to crack this. Wait, we do have Loam in the yard. Okay. Well, that's something. Okay, that goes up. I don't know how I missed the fact that we had Loam in the yard. So, I do think we Loam here. Wasteland. Fetch. I could get a hatchery. I'm not worried about my life total here. I might be worried about my life total in a minute. Okay, let's go ahead and play this Mox Diamond out. I think I can discard the fetch. Play the Wasteland first. Play the hatchery. I can't waste and hatch. I'm just going to go ahead and do this now. Okay, they go ahead and do it. All right, let's go for an attack here. Oh, I can still make a dude off of the spawn token if they attack. Grindstone. Okay, so we're dead next turn. Unless they have like some other burst of mana. We have to kill that. Wait, we can needle? Did I take the needle out? I was like, we have to go turbo. And I think as a result, we're going to die. Yeah, I surely I didn't take the needle out. If I did, I'm going to be so sad. So let's go ahead and make our dude. Our dude. I think needle, please be in the deck. It's not in the deck. I don't want to draw Mox Diamonds at this point. We don't have a Beseju in the yard, do we? I do have Besejus. Let's go ahead and attack with everything. For that. Oh, I can't turn it around. So dumb. Okay, wow, they're sacking that. They know I can just Loam to get a Wasteland, which is what I am going to do here. I think they're dead on board. I'm not going to get it back. I'm just going to try to kill them. They said, GG, play faster. That was miserable. Sorry. Yeah, I'll apologize for my slow play there. I realize that like I play slowly, and then when I'm casting or when I'm recording, it's even worse. But you have to understand, like you're a combo deck. Don't be surprised when people are playing slow against your combo deck thing can just win out of nowhere. So this was a 4-1. This deck felt amazing. No changes that I would make. Like I'm not sure about Shieldred's Edict. Like sometimes I just wish I had more fatal pushes. Because there were situations where our opponent had lots of creatures and I'm like, oh, I want to target, their Ocelot Pride, or I can't remember. But like there are situations. So at the same time, Shieldred's Edict can be Tomio removal spell number 5 and 6, right? So I'm not sure, but like we did get to use Shadow Spear. We did get to use Pithing Needle. All these cards felt great. As I said, like Wasteland and Loam are a heck of a combo. You can just navigate a lot of the meta just with these two cards. And I strongly advise people to consider playing an extremely conservative, extremely boring, non-sexy, non-Hogak explosive, look at my giant dude type build like this. I think this is way better. Frankly, I think if you went, and I did look at the Pox players, he played excellent. I don't want to diminish his accomplishment at all. But I think if you look at the matchups he faced, he faced 5 Karnforge decks. Like, I think if he were playing this build, it'd be so much better. Like, he would have done even better than he did, probably. I did see some videos on stream where he stole games with Hogak, and that will happen too. But Hogak's a Temi card in my mind. Like, it's like, wow, look, I did the thing. Like, if you think about it, the number of ways that he has to get Hogak out is pretty low. Barrage is a card that you could definitely consider putting in the sideboard. It's not in my sideboard right now, just because, well, I mean, maybe that's what we need in the Shielded Zedek spot. Like this, it is nice to be able to board in a couple of those to be able to rock opponents. But like, I don't know what to pull other than the Shielded Zedeks. Like you could take out the Shielded Zedeks, which is frankly a mediocre card, and you can put in 2 Barrage. And I think next time I try that, try the deck, I can do that. The main problem though is like you're loaming over stuff. The odds of you organically drawing a threat like that are pretty low. And it's by necessity a sideboard card. Like you would never bring it in against Blue-Black Reanimator because it just makes your life miserable. Like losing to your own Barrage is so humiliating after they reanimate. So, I mean, I don't know. And inevitably people are going to ask like, well, if you're playing lands, why not also play Dark Depths? And I'll just say Dark Depths is terrible right now. K-Command removes it. Brazen Borrower removes it. Like so many things remove it. And it's so many cards to get it into play. I feel like lands can maybe get away with that because they have like 4 exploration and it's like a huge part of their deck. But we're first and foremost a Disrupted Thoughtseize deck and kind of second a grindy Wasteland deck. If that's so, I'm not sure if a Barrage makes sense here. There are also cards. Oh, Nether Spirit. Nether Spirit is not bad. Check this out. This is Nether Shadow. Where's Nether Spirit? There. This is the dude. Look at him. He's like a sloth that lives in a tree. So at the beginning of your upkeep, if this card is your only creature card in your graveyard, you may return this card to the battlefield. Okay, does a 2/2 body matter enough to be in your 75? You are going to loam this over. You are going to put it in your graveyard for Rumble. There's never going to be another creature card in your graveyard. I think this probably is worth including. Somebody in the comments pointed this out, and I do think it's a reasonable. So the question is, what would you cut for this? Malevolent Rumble makes sense. But like there are so many matchups where this is just not going to matter. I think against fair decks, it might matter. So this might be a sideboard deck, sideboard card. But it's not like you're pitch casting or anything like that. Like this is just like a slow 2/2 clock. But it is an awesome Mercadian Mask card. I don't know. Like, I don't know what I would cut for it, is the thing. I guess you could cut a Witherbloom command, since functionally this is kind of addressing the same issue in terms of like removing like a tiny threat. But Witherbloom is so strong right now, I feel like it's got to be a 4 of. You could go down an exploration, but I think even the game where we had 2 exploration, it was worth playing. I'm not sure where you'd put this, frankly. Leave a comment with the timestamp, but I'm just going to ship the list as is with the... I'm not sold on Barrage. Again, like I think the odds, if he's not in your opening 7, don't count on ever drawing him, because if your deck is doing its thing, it's loaming the entire time. This is a lands deck, fundamentally. So I'll leave it there. I had an absolute blast. I hope you did too. We got to play against like basically all 3 of the top decks, Nadu, Blue-Black Reanimator, and Karn. And we got to play against Painter and Moonstompy, 2 red strategies that are very strong, that really stress tested my mind. We lost to the card I predicted we were going to lose to, Magus of the Moon. We beat Blood Moon, which was awesome, thanks to Force of Vigor. So yeah, like I feel like this was an amazing league. And if you're enjoying these, tell your friends, like, hey, there's this guy, Be Excellent, who makes lots of kind of like off-meta videos. Like, you're never going to see me playing a top deck. It's just not my area of interest. Frankly, like I'm much more interested in exploring decks where you get like kind of a brewer's advantage and where you get to have fun and not just have the same play experience that like 50% of the meta has where they're not doing. And Nadu is like the one exception to that. Like I've played some Nadu decks on the channel before, but I really don't want to play him anymore. I really think he's a broken card. So don't look for too many Nadu decks. I might occasionally have them and don't feel like I'm betraying my values when I play them. I feel like if you're playing Bant or really any blue-green wedge, you kind of need him. Like you're doing yourself a disservice if you don't have him. So the other card I'd like to not have to play against anymore and not play anymore is Tamio, but you will see her occasionally in my decks. So that concludes the apology section of the video, and that also includes the video. Until next time, be excellent to each other and party on.